I feel like that's enough time there. Welcome back to another episode of Into the 99, where we've got 99 cards, because Commander's number one. I am one of your hosts, Daniel. I've got Thunder with me today. Thunder, how you doing?
Hello. Yeah, I'm doing well. Been enjoying some exercise sessions with my buddy.
Yeah, you sent a few good, like, you said a nice, like, big path out there. You found a good walking place, so.
Yeah, in Germany there's a lot of sort of forested areas with paths that are cut out for people to exercise and sort of be one with nature, I guess.
That's nice. I with my leg finally starting to get a little bit better and everything, I'm like at like the physio healing up part of it. So I'm supposed to go walking around and try get up to being able to walk around for like an hour again at a time. So that's after this, I'm gonna go for a quick walk with the wife and see how my foot's kind of doing and everything. Hopefully I'm not limping around too badly. So it's always nice to get out in nature and stuff like that. My house is like right over by like a river in where we live and stuff. So I'm going to try find some nice spots to at least go do some walks every now and then.
Yeah, sounds good. I remember when I had the physio for my, I don't want to go too much into the graphic details, but they had to use part of my hamstring to fix a ligament. And so I had to go through physio for that. And your muscle mass declines quite a bit while you're healing.
Mm-hmm.
I still haven't fully healed, and that's also why I'm doing this sort of running training to try and get it back to what it was. But this was years ago, so I'm still having some trouble now. So
it's for me, it's the just the walking part of it has been so weird to go from not actually walking on my leg like at all for the last few months.
Yeah,
as like I'm a bigger gentleman. But normally, like, I'm pretty active, especially, like, in and out of work and everything. You jump in and out of the trucks all the time and everything, like a truck drive. So you do all that stuff, and just sitting around has been rough. So it'll be good. We're doing a event quickly. I wanted to chat a little bit about the event we got going on before we jump into our brew here. I've made a lovely new promo code. We're going to be doing some really cool stuff at Face to Face Calgary. So for November 15, 16, 17, come out. Lots of cool packages. We're going to be giving some stuff away. Sadly, no Thunder at it. Not this time, but one of these days soon. It'll be good. And so House of Cards is going to be out there as well. Check them out. We have a great promo code with them, IT99 for a discount. Helps them out, or helps us out, I guess. Doesn't really help the store out, but helps us out and gets you lists at a really great discount. And then AI Armor, like I always say, literally the best sleeves in the game. You can't get anything better. So go check their stuff out as well. The link for the AI Armor stuff's always over in the code or in our show notes. And without further ado, let's talk about a little bit about what we were getting into today. We wanted to do I like the Calamity Beasts a lot. They can't make such cool artwork and make a big, nice, fancy box and expect me to not brew it illegally. It's happening, you know?
Yeah. It does feel a bit wasteful when they use art from just a normal creature or maybe even an artifact or something, and it's just like, why are you doing that? It feels so wrong. I mean, this is really like a Commander product, this box.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Some people use it in Standard, but it's just such a cool looking card as well anyway. So there's two of them that are normal creatures, so we'll probably do both, right?
Yeah, so, two or three of them and stuff. And then there's with foundations, like we're going to be talking some foundation stuff. I've got a lot of foundations commanders I want to do some live brews on, so those jump starts have just knocked it out of the park for now. I think there's like I think 27 new legendaries from Jumpstart, and I think I want to brew like 13 or 14 of them. I got a real problem with them. With this one, we're talking Rottenmouth today, and it has, in my opinion, all the hallmarks of something that makes an interesting commander. It doesn't feel like a vanilla creature. It's got cool artwork. It's like a big, scary entity on the plane that is problematic for them to deal with. Like it's got a big ability. It's not widely busted from the command zone, but it's just good, right? No inherent protection, no silly ward 3 at 2 mana stuff, but Rottenmouth is 5 and a black for a 6/6 elemental snake with very, very cool sketch artwork. As an additional cost to cast it, you can sack any number of non-land permanents. The spell costs 1 less to cast for each permanent sacrifice this way, which is already a cool direction to go in the deck. And whenever Rottenmouth enters or attacks, put a blight counter on it. Then for each blight counter on it, each opponent loses 4 life unless that player sacks a non-land permanent or discards a card. I'm going to say right now we're probably, just as a safe bet, for if you don't have a welcoming play group to things like this, I'm going to put Turgid over here in the maybe board. Turgid cares as well about sacrifice and as sacrifice and discard. So if your play group doesn't want this, at least switch it into a Turgid deck and just leave Rottenmouth in the deck, right? I think it's the best. Unless, do you have another good alternate commander?
Yeah, so one of the things that I maybe fell into the trap of with this was, and it's not how I initially started looking for things. I usually start with the card and I look at the card for details like, okay, sacrifice, non-land permanent, and counters. So I start thinking proliferate.
Yeah, what we can proliferate on it.
What are the tokens going to be? And the deeper I dug, the more I realized this could be a zombie commander deck as well. So you could go with something like one of the geisers, even Sir Conrad, because he's kind of doing the same thing where you're moving things. You're going to need to sacrifice to get things in the graveyard and recover them out again, and then you're doing damage to each opponent. So it could be a number of potential options there, I think.
I never even considered going a zombie route with it. I think that's pretty cool. There's
a lot of zombie support now, and there's some very cool cards that I think would really help get lots of zombies onto the battlefield. Things I tend to shy away from is cards that will exile something out of my graveyard, especially if I want to recur stuff. So like exiling a creature out of my graveyard to create a 2/2 zombie token, I just don't see that as good value.
Yeah, you can't see yourself doing that one.
Yeah. But stuff like the sort of Titans, so what's the black one? That's Grave Titan, that can just make zombies by attacking. That's great.
I like that. Do we want to leave Gisa in the main deck?
I would still recommend at least Ghoulcaller Gisa.
Yeah, that's the one I just found. I spent 5 minutes while you're talking there typing in the Gisa, couldn't find it, and it was, I had to look it up on another one. It was Ghoulcaller Gisa.
Yeah, because there's a crazy synergy you can do here, which is something like a fake your own death on your commander, and then you sacrifice the snake to Gisa, and your commander is going to come straight back to the battlefield, get a trigger, and now you got a bunch of these zombies, like 6 zombies. So
I like that.
That's very good. Yeah.
Let's make this our first section is return our commander, because we probably want to maybe recursion, because we're going to we can sacrifice our own things and get that cost reduction, which is nice.
Yep.
Recur our commander.
It kind of encourages our opponents. So when Rottenmouth enters or attacks, put a blight counter on it. Then for each blight counter on it, each opponent loses 4 life unless their player sacrifices a non-land permanent or discards a card. So it's acting a bit like a bit of removal or life loss, and your opponents get to choose. So it doesn't really feel as bad as something that's going to be like everybody loses life all the time. At least you get a choice. And if you're versing other token decks, they're probably not going to have a problem. So we have to be mindful that whatever we are doing is maybe you want to build it that way. You just want to go super symmetrical, Grave Pact kind of. I'm constantly sacrificing creatures that recur themselves, and it forces my opponents to just lose their board states all the time. You could probably build it that way. But there's a couple things we can work around here. One is discard a card. So you can go with something like Waste Not, that also is a zombie maker.
I like that.
So let me read that for everyone. So Waste Not, pay 1 and a black. It's for an enchantment, and whenever an opponent discards a creature card, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Whenever an opponent discards a land card, add 2 black mana to your mana pool. And whenever an opponent discards a non-creature, non-land card, draw a card. So it's actually quite a decent value engine, and it's not too expensive here in Europe. And it does have a creature contemporary, so maybe we can look at that. I think it's a bit more expensive. Let me just find it. What did I put it under? It's Bone Miser.
Bone Miser's great, yeah.
Yeah, I think I might have it under my token generation. Wow, I cannot find it in my list. So let me just... Wait, I put it in my maybe board.
I got it here too. Bone Miser, 4 and a black for a 4/4 zombie wizard. So it's good on that zombie theme. Whenever you discard a creature card, you create a 2/2 black zombie. Whenever you discard a land, or whenever you discard a non-creature.
Yeah, so Bone Miser is off you doing this stuff. So I don't know, maybe that's not as great unless we have a discard theme, because like there are some zombie things that will encourage you to discard a card, and some of the mill items, I believe. But yeah, I don't know. We can think about it. There's also Yawgmoth Thran Physician. So maybe I can read that, and I put it in the maybe board on my side. So Yawgmoth Thran Physician is 2 and 2 black for a legendary creature, human cleric. It's a 2/4. It has protection from humans, and you can pay 1 life, sacrifice another creature to put a -1/-1 counter on 1 target creature and draw a card. And the other ability is pay 2, discard a card to proliferate. So it's not too hard to see a situation where you'd have these types of discard effects alongside Bone Miser, and you're still gaining value out of that.
Yeah, I like that one. There's on the theme of our commander, I think I want to throw in the card Into the Pit. Have you seen this one?
Into the Pit.
Yeah.
Sounds familiar.
So Into the Pit's an enchantment. It's 2 and a black. You can look at the top card of your library anytime, and you can cast spells from the top of your library by sacking a non-land permanent, in addition to paying the other costs.
Okay. So we're going to have a lot of generation then.
I think we're going to want some tokens. Let's throw in that Grave Titan.
Yep.
I just recently, by the way, learned that I can drag and drop from Scryfall or from Scryfall or Gatherer. You can just drag the picture into Architect.
Oh, cool.
It is a delightful feature.
That is really cool.
Quick category add options, tokens. Look at us go. We got it all figured out. I'd say we want to get a we'll do our ramp stuff after and everything. Let's kind of look at like some things that make tokens. So on the theme of our commander, how about an Ophiomancer?
Yeah. The thing to keep in mind with Ophiomancer is that it won't make a snake if the Viper is on the battlefield.
If you control no snakes, we got to get rid of Ophiomancer then.
But I thought about this, and the reason why you'd need the snake is because your commander has died or isn't available.
That's true. But I
can kind of reason having the Ophiomancer, but it won't be as reliable.
Yeah, I think we skip that one. How about an Endrixar?
Don't know that one.
Okay, Endrixar is an interesting commander. It's 4.
Oh, wait. Okay, no, I know him now.
Yeah, 4 and a black. It's a nice cheap card, too. It's a 2/2 wizard. Whenever you cast a creature spell, you create X/1/1 black throw creature tokens, where X is that spell's mana value. And when you control 7 or more throws, you sack Endrixar.
Yep. He's kind of cool. I like that he has a limitation on the amount of throws, so you got to sacrifice, so...
Yeah, and again, in this kind of deck, we want to sacrifice, right?
Yep.
Let's see, what else can we... Some things that can come back easily, like maybe like reassembling skeleton.
Yeah, I mean, we can go for... There's a few like that that return themselves. I didn't actually put those in my personal list here. I just saw zombies and got all the token generators.
Zombies are great. Let's look at the zombie route before I start adding these extra ones, and let's see what else you've got in there.
Yeah. So I think probably it's a bit expensive in terms of mana value, but I kid you not, this thing just will win a game out of nowhere. If people aren't ready for it, they just go down. So, Army of the Damned.
Yep.
5 and 3 black mana. Sorcery, create 13 tapped 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. And it has flashback, so even more mana. 7 and 3 black, and you get cost from a graveyard. So that it's a late game card for sure. But the amount of zombies that come out of there, if people just really struggle when that happens.
Yeah.
So,
well, coming back from something like that's going to be rough.
Yeah. And I could say it's a zombie staple. Dread Horde Invasion.
Oh, that's a great card.
So 1 and a black for an enchantment, and at the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life and amass zombies 1. So amass creates a zombie army, and then you put +1/+1 counters. So the way amass works is you don't get lots of different creature tokens out of it. You just get 1, and it'll keep coming back on your upkeep, or it will make it bigger and bigger. And then the other side of it is whenever a zombie token you control with power 6 or greater attacks, it gains lifelink until end of turn, which works very well with the Grave Titan.
Yep. I almost wish we had a little bit of red in this deck because I like the rats so much too.
Yeah. Speaking of rats, we should probably play Piper of the Swarm.
Oh yeah, that's great. That's a great token generator.
Yeah, so Piper of the Swarm, you pay 1 and a black for a creature human warlock. It's a 1/3. Rats you control have menace, and you can pay 1 and a black and tap it to create a 1/1 black rat creature token. And its second ability is you can pay 2 and 2 black, tap it, sacrifice 3 rats, gain control of target creature.
Yeah.
So I really like the fact that, okay, you got to spend a bit of mana to make some rats, but the fact that you can sacrifice 3 of them and gain control of target creature, that I think will actually help as like a bit of a removal as well.
Yeah, I like that. There's while I was sitting here scrolling, I found a reanimator that I like. So this is Clattering Augur. 1 black, 1 and a black for a 1/1 skeleton shaman. Can't block. When it enters, you draw a card and lose a life. 2 and a black, return it from your graveyard to your hand.
Yeah, that one's a good one. I think, what's the price on that?
30 cents.
Okay, so it's cheap still. All right, that's good.
Create new category. Reanimators.
Is it the same one? There's a similar zombie that can recover itself and draw cards, but now I cannot remember its name. But I'll find that eventually. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of some things that we can get a little bit of draw on. Little bit of draw if possible.
Yeah, let me go.
Oh, actually, how about a reprocess? It's very on our theme of sacrificing. This is a 2 double black. You sack any number of artifacts, creatures, or lands. Draw a card for each permanent sacrifice this way.
I can see that working.
Okay. Throw this into our list here. I'll put it into draw. Look at this. It's it automatically is now like populating category, so I can just 1-click it. It's just very nice. Architect is really coming in clutch with so many things.
Yeah. I think we can put a black market connections in as well.
Great card.
Yeah. So 2 and a black for an enchantment. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, choose 1 or more. Sell contraband. Create a treasure token. You lose 1 life. Buy information. Draw a card. You lose 2 life. Hire a mercenary. Create a 3/2 colorless shapeshifter creature token with changeling. You lose 3 life.
I like that. So that does everything we want.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to do everything all the time, but I think alongside some life gain, this works very well. And it can lean into some of the combo pieces, which I think we'll probably stay away from. So I don't know what you feel about that.
No, yeah, I tend to not like combo. I tend to just like fun things and stuff that get the game going.
Yep.
A Crypt Breaker could be kind of good on our theme. It's a 1-mana zombie. It's got 1 in the black. You tap it, discard a card, create a 2/2 black zombie, which is cool. Or tap 3 untap zombies you control. You draw a card and lose a life.
Yep. Yeah, I think I've got that in my list of draw. So yeah, makes sense.
Put that one over into our draw section.
Yeah,
it's kind of nice
just
when
maybe
they keep
warning everybody how the price on this one's probably going to be a little bit higher.
15 cards in, $85. Yikes.
Yeah, in my early looking for cards, not my sideboard, which the sideboard was like €80 already. The main cards I was looking at is almost €250. So some of the zombie stuff is a bit expensive. So
I'm going to add 2 more draw pieces in here that I really like. Where did they go? So first one is Pact of the Serpent. I just like Pact of the Serpent. It's kind of a nice kill people if they're overvaluing me card. 1 double black, choose a creature type, target player draws X cards and loses X life, where X is the number of creatures they control. Generally speaking, for us, we're going to choose our zombies. We've got a lot of them. Mm-hmm. But if someone's just kind of running away with the game, this is a nice way to bolt down a token player and basically kill them in one shot.
Yep.
So I added that one into our draw section, and then I also added a Minions Murmurs, another card you don't really see very often. It's 2 double black. You draw X cards and lose X life, where X is the number of creatures you control.
Mm-hmm. I suppose we should put an Exsanguinate in.
I was going to say, we're losing a lot of life here.
Yeah. So, Exsanguinate, where is it in my list?
I got it up here. X double black. Each opponent loses X life. You gain life equal to the life lost this way.
Yep. It's fairly easy. I'm just going to change my ordering. Okay. Should be better. We should probably play Gary as well.
Yeah, that's a great card. I don't play Grey Merchant in very many decks, and I really should.
We'll be right back.
Unova, a land of promise and opportunity, turned sour by economic depression at the turn of the decade. People and Pokemon alike struggle to survive even in a time of rapid industrial expansion. The powder keg brews between the populace and the military police corps. Dark, twisted forces stir just below the surface. But, in this night sky, there are stars. Pinpricks of light. Of hope. Welcome to the mad streets of Unova.
Yeah, he's a nice target also if we're doing those sort of recur the creature instance. He works well with that. So Gary, for those who are not familiar, is Grey Merchant of Asphodel. He's 3 and 2 black for a creature zombie. He's a 2/4. And when Grey Merchant of Asphodel enters, each opponent loses X life, where X is your devotion to black. You gain life equal to the life lost this way. So devotion means all the black symbols that you have in your permanents.
Yeah, all our black pips.
Yeah.
Okay, let's make a, I'm going to say a life gain category, because we need one.
Yep.
That's the, black is so good at using life as a resource to end the game, but it's not great at getting life back all the time. Sometimes you have to really actually put in work to do that.
Yep. What will work nicely here is things that create food tokens.
Oh, food tokens are great. That's a great idea.
Yeah, there's this interesting little, like, we got to watch our curve a bit because some of the stuff is a bit expensive. There's from the Fallout set, there's actually quite a lot of cards which I found fit this commander quite well, and one of them, which I need to get a bunch of, is Survivor's Med Kit. So it's 1 for an artifact, and you can pay 1 and tap and choose one that hasn't been chosen. The first option is Stimpack, draw a card. So that's already kind of cool because it can replace itself. And then the next one is Fancy Lads Snack Cakes, which is kind of cool.
It's a fun name.
Yeah. Create a food token. So that's it's basically creating an extra artifact which you can sacrifice to get the commander out as well, or use for life. And then the last one is Rad Away. Target player loses all rad counters. Sacrifice survivor's medkit. So I mentioned proliferate before, and so we'll probably touch on a few proliferate cards at some point. But what is a cool thing that came with the Fallout is rad counters. So rad counters are counters that are placed on a player, and they will force the players to mill cards from their library. Let me try and find my rad counter explanation. I think I've got it here.
Yeah, they mill. If they get a land, they remove a rad counter. If they don't, they keep it and mill the next turn too, right?
Yeah, let me just get the ruling. Or
the actual wording, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what's nice about this card too, while you do it, is even if we don't go that rad counter way, we have a commander that cares about sacrificing, right? So even just getting the draw, getting the food, and then just having this there to throw out is really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, you put an artifact down, it draws you a card, it then makes a food token, and that can reduce your commander's casting cost by 4, right? It's quite a bit. So here's the wording of the rad counters. At the beginning of each player's pre-combat main phase, if that player has one or more rad counters, that player mills a number of cards equal to the number of rad counters they have. For each non-land card milled this way, that player loses 1 life and removes 1 rad counter from themselves. So the rad counters will clear themselves slowly, but the more rad counters you put onto the players, the more cards they're going to mill, the more life they're going to lose.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. It works alongside the life loss concept. We can actually amplify that as well with some enchantments. And if we're proliferating and we get rad counters on our opponents, we just keep putting more rad counters on them.
Yeah.
So I think it's a pretty cool concept. And so I have a few options that we can talk about maybe a little bit later if we want to dig more into that.
Yeah, I like this. Do we want to add in just again on maybe one final draw one on our theme here is Plumb the Forbidden? I really like this card in a lot of decks. It's an instant, 1 of black. As you cast it, you can, as an additional cost to cast it, you sack 1 or more creatures. When you do, you copy it for each creature sacked this way, you draw a card and lose a life. It's a really nice piece of instant draw if we have lots of creatures that we can get going.
Yep.
Where did it go to?
Yeah, Plumb the Forbidden works very well with the pest strategies from Strixhaven.
Yeah.
So
and then
maybe we want to put the witch in as well. Sedgemoor Witch.
Sedgemoor, okay, let me read that in 1 sec, but I wanted to add one more instant in here. Rise of the Dreadmarn. It's 2 and a black. You create X 2/2 black zombie berserker creature tokens, where X is the number of non-token creatures that died this turn. So that's if we're throwing our creatures away, someone's hitting out a big board wipe, we're able to refill that surplus.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. And Sedgemoor Witch, 2 and a black for a creature human warlock. She's a 3/2 with menace. And ward, pay 3 life. So if your opponent tries to target her for removal, then they lose 3 life. And whenever she has Magecraft, whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, create a 1/1 black and green pest creature token with when this creature dies, you gain 1 life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is this card? I feel like I really like that whenever you cast or copy an instant. That's great. The pests are awesome. What is the card I was thinking? Oh, Solemn. Solemn Simulacrum is going to be great for us.
Yep.
Because we're going to get...
Actually, I have some more draw/ramp ideas.
Yep.
So, you can read Solemn if you want to.
So Solemn's just a 4-mana golem, 2/2. When it enters, you search your library for a basic land, put it on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. And when it dies, you may draw a card. That's a great creature to throw away to our commander's ability for that cost reduction. Again, getting our commander out for cheap and drawing cards off of it is going to be pretty problematic. Our commander people are going to want to kill for sure.
Yep. And we're definitely going to want to get value out of that. So, yeah, we'll get to those cards. Collector's Vault. I'm liking this card quite a bit. 2-mana artifact. Pay 2, tap it, draw a card, then discard a card, create a treasure token.
Oh, it's great.
So, yeah, it works with our ideas where we might want to throw things in the graveyard, especially if it's a creature that can make itself come back. And then you're drawing cards, you're creating treasure. You can sack it for the commander or for other spells. It's just very useful.
You got me thinking some stuff with the food. How do you feel about Lembas in the deck? Lembas is an artifact. It's 2 mana. When it enters, scry 1, draw a card, which is cool. We can pay 2, sack it, and gain 3 life. And when it's put into a graveyard from the battlefield, its owner shuffles it. So it's going to keep going back into our deck. It's a 2 mana draw spell for us that's also going to work as a way to make our commander a little less expensive.
Yep, I like it. It does work.
I like it, and it gives us that extra piece of possible life gain. And then another just really, really cheap, like I know we don't have a lot of super budget stuff in here so far, but Ichor Wellspring I thought could be another nice one.
Yeah.
It's a 2 mana artifact. When it enters or it's put into the graveyard from the battlefield, you draw. Yep. Another nice piece to just throw away.
Yeah, and a card that I would consider very important for this deck is Staff of Completion.
Oh, yeah.
So 3 mana for an artifact. It's got multiple abilities. So the first is tap it, pay 1 life, destroy target permanent you own. I'm not sure we're going to use that all too much unless there's something that wants to die.
Mm-hmm.
Second ability is tap, pay 2 life, add 1 mana of any color. So it acts as a sort of ramp for us. The third ability is tap it, pay 3 life to proliferate, which we will definitely make use of. It's just you must remember when we're proliferating that it doesn't immediately trigger the commander. You want to proliferate and then go to combat. So that way you benefit from having the counters already.
Yeah, the more counters on it, the merrier.
Yeah. And then the fourth ability is tap Staff of Completion, pay 4 life, draw a card. We might not use that one unless we've got plenty left. And then the last is just pay 5 mana to untap Staff of Completion so you can do it again.
Being able to hit that multiple proliferates can be a problem.
Yeah, I mean, you can get 3 counters on the commander, on the Vipers super quickly with this, just for 5 mana, and then that's quite a lot of things happening for the opponents.
Yeah. I added another one in there that was on that same train of thought that I was going at, is this Mephitic Drought. 1 in a black. It's just another when it enters or is put into a graveyard from the battlefield. Draw a card, lose a life. Again, all these nice little 2 mana draw and throw away to bring our commander down. I like these a lot because they're acting like a cost reduction for our big commander, right? A lot of times I feel our commander is going to come out at 3 or 4 mana the first time.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, right? Like I doubt we're going to have the full 5 permanents to throw away early game. It'd be great if we did and could drop it down for 1 mana, but it is very nice too that we can have a way to get rid of that commander tax because people are going to come. They're going to want to kill our snake.
Definitely.
I'm just trying to see if there's anything else in this same vein here.
Well, it's Druidic Satchel. It's not one that you'd probably want to sacrifice, but it either ramps you, gives you a token which you can sacrifice, or gains your life. So I think it's
Druidic.
It's pretty good. Yeah, Druidic Satchel. 3 mana for an artifact. You pay 2 and tap it. Reveal the top card of your library. If it's a creature card, create a 1/1 green Saproling creature token. If it's a land card, put that card onto the battlefield under your control. Note, put it onto the battlefield. So if it's basic, it comes in untapped.
Mm-hmm.
Or if it has some other way to be untapped, then that'll work. If it's a non-creature, non-land card, you gain 2 life. So it's kind of doing all the things we want.
I'm going to put that as token.
Yeah, I count it as ramp because even though it's not necessarily a reliable ramp, it's whether it creates the token or it puts the land, both of those cases, it's helping get the commander out.
That is true, yeah. Yeah, that's right with that one.
Yeah.
What else do we have for some token generators? Let's get a few pieces of ramp in here, because we don't really have too much. I haven't put in Soul Ring yet. Let's put in I like these cheap diamonds for now. We can always take it out, but charcoal diamond. Let's throw in a Mind Stone, because it's a cheap piece. If there's better pieces of ramp, we can always get them into the deck after and change these out.
Definitely Wayfarer's Bauble, because you wouldn't even have to necessarily, I mean, if you're under pressure to get your commander out, you can just sack the Bauble.
Yeah, that's true.
You could also put your favorite Traveler's Amulet, I suppose.
Yeah, Traveler's Amulet. Well. It's very nice because, exactly like you said, if we don't need it, it's just a way to bring our commander's cost down.
Yeah. So the Traveler's Amulet puts the basic into your hand, and the Wayfarer's Bauble puts it on the battlefield tapped, but costs a little bit more. But so that's just for people not familiar with those.
Yeah.
How about Feign the Broker?
That's it's an untap one, right?
So Feign can create treasures, put counters, and you can sacrifice artifacts to create inklings, so you can get some flying, because we don't have much flying yet. And you can pay the 4 to untap him and use him again.
Yeah. Honestly, looking at this card, this can also be a nice replacement commander for if it's not there, because it's sacrificing, it's still making stuff, right? It's still going to be good for us.
Yeah. I think it's like, what we'll find is that there's a lot of similarity between these sacrifice type black commanders. They all are wanting to do the same sort of engine, so the strategies are mostly the same.
I like this.
So let me read Feign. So Feign the Broker, 2 and a black for a legendary creature, human warlock. He's a 3/3. His first ability is tap, sacrifice a creature, put 2+1/+1 counters on target creature, so we can pump the commander if we really want to go that way. And then you can tap, remove a counter from a creature you control, create a treasure token. So if maybe we see the commander's about to die, we can remove a blight counter off the commander and make a treasure to help us cast the Viper again.
That's smart, yeah. Remove a counter is great.
Yeah. And then tap, sacrifice an artifact, create a 2/1 white and black inkling creature token with flying. And then the last ability is 3 and a black, untap Feign the Broker. And the very, very important thing to remember is this is all instant speed. So you can do these things in response to what your opponents are trying to do. Maybe they're trying to attack you, quickly turn one of your treasures, or if we're playing clues or blood tokens, whatever artifacts you got lying around, just quickly sack it, make it 2/1 flyer blocker, and you can save yourself some life total. Because that's the other risk with this. If we're paying a lot of life for things, then people realize, we're just attacking with everything we have every turn, and then he's gone. So we're going to need some blockers for sure.
Yeah. I just added another piece of life gain to this. It's Foul Tongue Shriek. It's 1 black. Target opponent loses 1 life for each attacking creature you control. You gain that much life. Because we've got lots of tokens. Nice way to bolt someone. Nice way to get a little bit of life back if we need to.
Yeah, there's another card that, for all the creatures that we have, let me grab that one quick. Where is it? Drain. I don't see it in my list. Well, I believe it's an instant. Let me go hunt for that.
I've got another one here too as well. Sure. For the 40k one. It's their number is Legion. It's X quadra black. You create X 2/2 tapped black Necron warrior artifact creature tokens. Then you gain life equal to the number of artifacts you control. And then you exile this. So it's a life gain piece, a token piece, and you can cast it from the graveyard.
That sounds really good.
How about a black market as well for a piece of ramp? Because we're sacrificing creatures, right?
Yeah, that does make sense.
Black market for anyone that doesn't know, 3 double black. Whenever a creature dies, you put a charge counter on it, and proliferating is also going to be great there. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, you add a black for each charge counter on it.
Do we want to consider a Loth Spider Queen?
It's a planeswalker, right?
Yes.
Let me see here.
So what I like about her is she creates spiders with reach. So I think that will be pretty useful. So let me read her out. So Loth Spider Queen is a 3 mana and 2 black planeswalker, legendary planeswalker. And her loyalty is 4. Whenever a creature you control dies, put a loyalty counter on Loth Spider Queen. So that's pretty useful because we're going to be sacrificing creatures. Her 0 ability is, so you basically don't change your loyalty at all. Draw a card and you lose 1 life. So that's useful. Her -3 is create 2 2/1 black spider creature tokens with menace and reach. And I'm sure some of you will be having flashbacks to the Adventures standard where she was constantly used to make these irritating spiders.
Yeah.
And then her LT is -8. You get an emblem with whenever an opponent is dealt combat damage by 1 or more creatures you control. If that player lost less than 8 life this turn, they lose life equal to the difference. So she makes sure that even if you hit just for a little bit, they're going to lose at least 8 life, which is still annoying. But it's not a very scalable ultimate, so you probably won't care very much for that.
Well, that -3 is going to be great for us. Just that the 2/2/1 with reach is great.
Yeah.
Let's throw in a Blight Mound. Blight Mound kind of gets us more of our pests. It's 2 and a black. Attacking pests you control get 1/0, but we don't really care about that. Oh, and have menace. But it's whenever a non-token creature you control dies, you get a 1/1 black and green pest. With when it dies, you gain a life.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
I've
right.
resorted to looking through my little card pile because I'm pretty sure I've got this card in this list.
Curse of Disturbance. Sherman's in the chat now too, and yeah, Curse of Disturbance is a great one. Endrixar is in there. Curse of Disturbance. That's the landfall one, right? Yeah. Whenever enchanted player is attacked, create a 2/2 black zombie creature. Each attacking opponent does the same. That's a great. It's also on our zombie theme. There's a landfall one of it. What is the landfall? It's another curse. Restless Dead. Curse of the Restless Dead is another enchantment to generate a stuff. 2 and a black. Whenever land enters under enchanted player's control, you get a 2/2 black zombie token with Decayed. Everyone's got generally like a mana ramp character, player in their group specifically usually. So it should be pretty easy. Worst case, it goes on us, and we just make a zombie every time we have land come in.
Yep.
Pitiless Plunder would be good too.
Yeah.
Because that gives us treasure, right?
Combo piece, so we be careful with that one.
It is very easy. Pitiless Plunder combos with a light breeze.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I picked some good cards here. So I'm enjoying looking through my list here, but I better read some of these out.
Yeah.
Let's go with. I think it would be useful to have something like Transmutation Font.
Transmutation Font. I don't know if I know this one.
Yeah, so it's 5 colorless for an artifact. You can tap it to create your choice of a blood token, a clue token, or a food token. So blood is basically a rummage. Clue is just pay 2, sack it, draw a card, and food is you gain 3 life. And then its second ability is you pay 3, tap it, sacrifice 3 artifact tokens with different names, search your library for an artifact card, put it onto the battlefield, and then shuffle. Activate only as a sorcery. So
generally speaking, I would probably just pump tokens.
Well.
Yeah, like I would probably just pump tokens out with that for the tap effect.
Yeah, it's very, very, very nice for that.
What do we have for things that are like our tap sack, like our village rights kind of things? Have we added anything like that yet?
Well, there's the Gisa. Let's have a look.
I had one more I wanted to add before I forget about it. I keep looking at it. I don't play this. I don't run it in a single deck anywhere. It's Tavash Sat, Doom of Fools, the Planeswalker.
He is awesome.
Yeah, 4 and a black for a 4/4. Can be your commander as well, so another possible commander option if we want. +2, you create 2 black throw tokens, which is cool. It's a nice token generator. +1, you can sack another creature or planeswalker. If you do, draw 2 cards, then draw another card if the sacrifice permanent was a commander, so we can throw our snake away for even more draw if we need to. -10, gain control of all commanders. Put all commanders from the command zone onto the battlefield under control. I think that's pretty good. Well, and especially with the ability to proliferate and stuff, we've got to add a little more proliferate in here. I know there's more, but I really like that. I think this is kind of does a lot of what we want to do in this deck.
Exactly, yeah. So I finally got the card.
Okay.
I had to dig quite deep for this. Gruesome Fate.
Love Gruesome Fate. Love it so much.
2 and a black for a sorcery. So I was wrong. I thought it was an instant, but it's a sorcery. Each opponent loses 1 life for each creature you control. And because we are heading down the zombie grave hole, let's say, there's going to be a lot of creatures. So
Yep.
There's a suggestion by Sherman. Tempting Contract for some group hug.
I live the group hug dream. Tempting Contract. What do we got on that one? Oh, I think I know this one. It's Tempting Contract is the every turn we get our treasures. That helps us. A lot of times people are going to take their treasure. That's pretty good. I like this.
Yep. I don't know how you feel about poison counters. I mean, it could be an alternate win con.
Poison counters could be good, but I wouldn't want to go too hard into it because again, with us having proliferate, I feel like that could be a little bit of a feel bad.
Yep.
Let me see.
So,
what did you have in mind for it?
So it might be a bit expensive, but it's just a card, a pet card from the Murders set. Persuasive Interrogators, 6 and 2 for a Gorgon Detective creature. It's a 5/6, and when Persuasive Interrogators enters the battlefield, investigate. So you get a clue token out of it at least. The second ability is maybe you don't want this, but maybe you do. Whenever you sacrifice a clue, target opponent gets 2 poison counters. So if somebody is being a real difficult customer, then you might want to, if you've got some of the other clue creators in there, drop this down and sacrifice your clues, and then that person's deleted. Honestly, I managed to do this in a draft, funny enough, and get a victory. So it can work. It's a little hard to get it to work, but maybe that's something some people might want. But
it's nice to have that one last little piece just in case, right? Because sometimes you don't have enough life to get through. Sometimes everyone's got like they're pillow forted too hard in. You got to pay 13 to attack them or whatever it is.
Yeah. And I mean, it might turn out that you just can't attack through something because they've got, like you said, all that pillow fort or something that just stops you from attacking.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe somebody's playing board wipe city. There's that one commander, which maybe we could do one of the days. You just keep sacking him and he makes zombies and board wipes.
Yep.
But yeah.
Okay, I feel we need some proliferate here. I like having this extra win con there. Let's see what we've got. We've got a Drown and Ichor. It is... Where did it go to? 1 in the black, target creature gets -4/-4 till on a turn and proliferate. Nice little piece of removal.
Yeah, let me find I've tried to put all the proliferates into my list.
Okay.
Khan's Bastion, obviously.
Great land, yep.
As a land. Tap for colorless, and you can pay 4 and tap it to proliferate.
Yep.
There's Contagion Clasp. So that's 2 for an artifact. When it enters the battlefield, put a -1/-1 counter on target creature. So it could turn out that your opponent's got something annoying and you just proliferate it to death. That works on indestructible stuff, so that's good. And you can pay 4, tap it, and proliferate.
I'd forgotten about this, but really quickly, How do you feel about a Decimator Web?
Ooh.
4 mana, target opponent loses 2 life, gets a poison counter, puts the top 6 cards of their library into the graveyard.
I think it's a maybe.
Let me maybe board it for now.
Yeah.
That one might be a little too mean.
Yeah. Shaman's giving us a whole bunch of stuff.
Okay, let me go check this out here.
Lightbeardy Rat. I didn't pick that because it's not that repeatable unless you recurring it from the graveyard using it's a Haunted Crossroads or the other Phyrexian one. Reclamation.
It's kind of nice because it's cheap though, right?
Yeah,
cheap and another source of toxic, which is cool.
Yeah,
I'd say we leave it.
There's a Fallout vehicle, Recon Craft Theta. So it's a bit weird, but pay 4 for an artifact vehicle. It's a 4/4 and it's got flying. When you want to crew it, it's crew 2. That's fairly easy with zombies. When Reconcraft Theta enters the battlefield, create a 0/0 blue alien creature token. Put a +1/+1 counter on it. So something to sacrifice to the commander, which is nice. And whenever Reconcraft Theta attacks, proliferate. So you can proliferate your little blue alien, which is kind of funny. Or blight counters or whatever you want. So I think it's actually a very cool card. It does all the things you really want.
Yeah, I like that. Just trying to see if there's any other things. So what are we missing in our deck so far? It's me, so we have no removal in here, basically. We've got 1 or 2 pieces. I think our ramp's a little light.
There's a couple more, if I remember correctly, removal pieces that we'll get that give us a proliferate. So I think it'll balance it out a little bit.
Okay.
So we can start with a small one. It's cheap, and it's not going to do much, but it will probably kill something at some point. It's a Whisper of the Dross. It's a 1 black for instant. Target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn, and then you proliferate. So if we have put a counter on something, then it can get the job done as well. And then there's Grim Affliction, 2 and a black, also for an instant. Put a -1/-1 counter on target creature, then proliferate. It's -1 until end of turn, and then you proliferate.
There we go. I accidentally hit my volume button there.
So both of those will put some counters on things and make them less of a problem or end them.
Yep. Scrolling, I just saw this Bag of Devouring.
Sounds interesting.
Bag of Devouring, yeah, it is. Nice cheap piece, too. It's 1 black mana. Whenever you sack another non-token artifact or creature, exile it. Pay 2, sack another artifact or creature, draw a card. So I really like that ability to repeat. Pay 3, tap it, sack Bag of Devouring, roll a d10. Return up to X cards from among cards exiled with Bag of Devouring to their owner's hand, where X is the result.
Yeah. It can be a bit tricky. You got to be careful with it, but...
well, I just like it for that repeatable sacrifice.
Yeah. One that Sherman mentioned is Drown and Ichor.
Oh, yeah, I threw that one in already.
Yeah.
I think
Did you read it out? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's that's 1 in the black. Target creature gets -4/-4 and then proliferate.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's great. Just trying to think.
There's another removal. Spread the Sickness.
Okay.
4 in a black for a sorcery. Destroy target creature, then proliferate.
Yeah, that's great. It's a sorcery, you said? There we go, yeah.
Yes, it's a sorcery. And, yeah, proliferate. I don't think proliferate targets the counter.
No, you just get another counter.
Yeah.
Which is kind of nice.
Yeah, we can put Sizat's Will in as well. For thralls and removal as well. So that's 4 and a black for an instant. Choose 1.
What's that card, sorry?
If you control the Sizat's Will.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying it like that so that you can hear the letters, but I don't know how to say that properly.
I think that's it. Yeah. That's instant?
Yeah, it's instant, and you choose 1. If you control a commander as you cast a spell, you may choose both. First is each opponent sacrifices a creature they control with the greatest power, so that's very useful. And then the second is exile all cards from all opponents' graveyards, then create X 0/1 black thrall creature tokens, where X is the greatest power amongst creature cards exiled this way. I always find that mode underwhelming. Unless somebody's playing Galta or something, probably not going to get much value out of that.
I'm still scrolling random stuff, and I've found another one that I like. Why will it not let me drag and drop my cards now? I was loving dragging and dropping my cards.
Oh no, refresh.
That's what I just did. What do you mean you can't find the ID? So one of the ones I just found is Glass Heart Casket.
Oh, I love that.
I've never played that one. Oh, Glass Cast Heart, sorry. I read backwards, but it's 2 and a black. Whenever one or more vampires you control attack, you create a blood token, which is great for us throwing it away. 1 black in a tap, pay 1 life, create a 1/1 white and black vampire creature token with lifelink, which solves a lot of problems in our deck, to be honest. Or 2, sack 2 and a 2. 2 black, 1 tap. Sacrifice Glass Cast Heart and 13 blood tokens. Each opponent loses 13 life and you gain 13 life. So a pretty good late game bolt if you just happen to have a ton of these tokens laying around. But I really like that ability to keep pumping out life-linking creatures because they pay for themselves really quickly.
Exactly, yeah. I really like this card because it's self-sufficient and it's its own kind of engine, which can lead to a win con. So it's very versatile. Sherman suggested Hirobi. I imagine that's the Death's Whale, right?
Let me see. Hirobi Death's Whale is... Whenever a creature becomes the target of a spell or ability, destroy that creature. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
I don't know if that one fits in this one.
Because we don't want to make it easier for our opponents to remove our commander.
Yeah, because it is a pretty expensive, like, it's already a removal target.
Yeah.
I just typed Hirobi Death's Whale. I want to see what that card is, but I don't know where it went. Where is this?
Where has it placed the creature? Sometimes it doesn't refresh for me, so I might miss something.
Oh, Hirobi's Whisper is what it was. It's 1 double black. If you control a swamp, destroy target non-black creature. No, also I don't think that one either. No Hirobi for me at the moment.
Yeah. We probably want to put an Academy Manufacturer in because we're going to be making clues, food, treasure, probably.
I don't think so. I don't think so because we're not reliable enough to make those. I don't think.
Okay.
But yeah, because we don't have a ton of stuff. Like we're a lot more like I'd rather see something like a Nuka-Cola vending machine where I can reliably pump out a food token kind of thing.
Sure.
And again, I've never put that card in a deck before, so
yeah, it's got a price attached to it now.
It does
it's very
have a
cool
price. Yeah. And then also a Noble's Purse. Why will you not let me drag and drop? I was enjoying it so much. A Noble's Purse is just another decent one, especially because we have Proliferate.
Yep. So how about maybe we should read these out.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, I'll quickly read both of them. So Noble's Purse is 2 colorless. It enters tapped with 3 coin counters on it. You tap it, remove a coin counter from it, create a treasure token, which is kind of nice. In a best case, we could proliferate it up and it's just a treasure generator so much. Worst case, it's just a nice, easy, early piece of ramp that we throw away to our commander after. Yep. And then Nuka-Cola vending machines, 3 colorless, and it has 1 in a tap, create a food token, and whenever you sack a food, create a tap treasure token. And it doesn't say how we have to sack it. So if we have a bunch of these that we can get out with our commander, then we get a bunch of treasures. We get like almost a Belladross-like effect where we throw 6 things away to our commander, get 6 new things.
Yep. That's such a cool card. It's a pity it's so expensive.
Hirobi, it's dangerous but funny. I want to make a Hirobi deck. Hirobi in all instance, nobody will know what I'm playing.
It's just like, I'm trying to help you. Why is your creature dying?
Yeah. Hirobi, mono black combat tricks with Hirobi. Your creature gets +3/+3 and it's dead.
Yeah. Okay, so I got a nice food artifact.
Okay.
Ariet's Tempting Apple. It's 4 for a legendary artifact food. When Ariet's Tempting Apple enters the battlefield, gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap that creature, it gains haste until end of turn. That's just like, that can really wreck a person. Just they put out their big ass real cool attacking creature, and then you just take it.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of nice because we have so many things that let us throw things away, right?
Yeah. Plus, if our commander is being dealt with, it can be a revenge play, and then you sacrifice their favorite thing.
The snake gets it back.
And then its other abilities are 2, tap, sacrifice, and gain 3 life, so typical food. And then the other one, which could actually catch a player, is 2, tap, sacrifice, its tempting apple, and target opponent loses 3 life.
Yeah.
So it's a very cool food, and I put it in a bunch of places because I think it's gain 3 life, or someone loses 3 life, and you get to steal something. So that's kind of nice.
Well, yeah, the fact that we get that steal just on enter is great.
We probably want to play Endless Ranks of the Dead.
Endless Ranks could be good, yeah.
Yeah, because it's going to cause massive problems for our opponents if we've just got a few zombies out. So it's 2 and 2 black for an enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, create X 2/2 black zombie creature tokens where X is half the number of zombies you control rounded down.
I like this as well, bacon to pie. I'm just looking at some more bacon to a pie.
Yeah.
Is 2 double black, you destroy target creature and create a food token, which goes in my token section. What are we at right now? We're at 97. What's our ramp look like? Our draw looks great. Yeah, our draw is wonderful. What's our ramp? 9 ramp. Do we want to add any more ramp? Or do we want
definitely
more removal?
Want to put Wand of Orcus in.
I don't know. That card is
it's not ramp, but it's, I think, quite important for zombie creation. So Wand of Orcus, 2 and a black for legendary artifact equipment. Whenever equipped creature attacks or blocks, it and zombies you control gain death touch until end of turn, which can really hurt people, especially if you've got a lot of zombies.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, create that many 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. So its equip is 3, but if you get this on the Viper, that's 6 zombies created, which is kind of ridiculous.
What is this card? Sherman has recommended a card called Carrion that I don't know.
Yeah,
it's an instant. Sack a creature, put into play a number of mega creature tokens equal to its sacked power. That's great. That's a great way to, again, number one, if we have our way to steal things with one creature, it's cool. But yeah, throw our commander away, we get 6 and we just get a free recast. I like this a lot.
Yeah. Let's see what the curve is looking like.
We're at 99. And then Taste of Death is which one?
It doesn't look too bad. So looking at the architect specs for black and colorless, we've got at least 8 1-mana spells, 17 2-mana spells, and 17 3-mana spells. That's a reasonable curve, I think.
Yeah, we're pretty low there. I like it. We've got a few heavy hitters, but
yeah, we can probably put more proliferate items in if we want to do that. There's a lot of cool extra possibilities. And I mean, there's so many zombie things. We probably only went through half of the ones that I have in my lists.
Let's throw this Chattering Augur away for another piece of ramp. Maybe sure. What do we have for ramp? Mindstone, Druidic Collectors.
Could go Iron Crag, although I mean it's just really for the ramp then.
We could throw in a Dark Ritual. Obviously, that's gonna make a pretty good early play. Dark Ritual's gone up so much in price.
Yeah, there's also Glistening Sphere.
That's great. Yeah, because that's proliferate, right?
Yeah. So 3 and for an artifact, Glistening Sphere enters the battlefield tapped. When it enters the battlefield, proliferate, and you can tap it to make 1 mana of any color. Then it's got this ability Corrupted, which is really cool. You can tap and add 3 mana of any color. Activate only if an opponent has 3 or more poison counters. So with the toxic age of cards, a lot of them cared about getting at least 3 poison counters.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Sherman threw another really good one, Replicating Ring. 3 colorless for a snow artifact. Tap to add 1 mana of any color. Beginning of your upkeep, put a night counter on it. Then if there's 8 or more, remove all of them and create 8 colorless snow artifacts named Replicating Ring with this. But Replicating Ring, by the way, doesn't stop. It just keeps going after you have 8.
It just keeps going.
Yeah, so we can keep getting those out and out. Yeah,
proliferating a lot.
I really like that. We're a little too high. Do we want to kill Bone Miser? Because Bone Miser's only our own discard. Let's throw Bone Miser. I really like Waste Knot because it's with our commander having a discard trigger, we can't not have that Waste Knot. I think it's just too important.
Yeah.
Maybe do we want to throw away this Into the Pit?
Let me have a look.
I'm going to throw Into the Pit into the maybe board.
Maybe one of the things I can do here is I can read a couple of the rad cards, just so that people can hear them and they can choose for themselves.
Oh, like the rad counters?
Yeah. So if you want to go that route and you put the rad counters on your opponents and then you proliferate those and you just keep making your opponents mill cards, you can also go with like a graveyard steal strategy, which is kind of nice, like a Raksha Debaser, attack your opponent, take their creature, that kind of thing. So that's just something to keep in mind. But I'll read, let's say, six cards. So the first is Feral Ghoul, 2 and a black for a creature zombie mutant. It's a 2/2 with menace. Whenever another creature you control dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Feral Ghoul. And when Feral Ghoul dies, each opponent gets a number of rad counters equal to its power. So we're definitely proliferating, and you're putting counters on this every time one of your creatures dies. When it dies, which you can instigate by just casting the commander again, suddenly everybody's got like 10 rad counters on them. That's going to hurt a lot.
Yeah.
So that's actually a pretty cool card, I thought. Another one is Infesting Rad Roach, 2 and a black for a 2/2 flying insect mutant. And you can probably tell from the name Roach that it's a cockroach. Infesting Rad Roach can't block. When Infesting Rad Roach deals combat damage to a player, they get that many rad counters. So it can keep just attacking, putting rad counters on someone.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever an opponent mills a non-land card, if Infesting Rad Roach is in your graveyard, you may return it to your hand. So even if it gets killed, it's probably going to come back.
Yeah.
So I like that as you can sack it if you need to, it comes back kind of thing.
I threw that over into a maybe board there. I think it's a cool card.
Yeah. Third one is Nuka Nuke Launcher, 2 for an artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +3/+0 and has Intimidate. So Intimidate means that the equipped creature can't be blocked except for artifacts and all creatures that share a color with it. Whenever equipped creature attacks until the end of defending player's next turn, that player gets 2 rad counters whenever they cast a spell.
I like that.
So,
that's very cool.
If there's a player who's playing like a spell slinger stuff, then they're going to be like, uh-oh. Or Storm, that's going to be a problem. And its equip cost is 3. It seems fairly standard for these types of equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next one's kind of interesting. Screeching Scorch Beast, 4 and 2 black for a bat mutant creature. 5/5 Flying Menace. Whenever Screeching Scorch Beast attacks, each player gets 2 rad counters, so that includes yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever one or more non-land cards are milled, you may create that many 2/2 black zombie mutant creature tokens. Do this only once each turn. So, because of how the rad counter stuff works, it's in your opponent's turn. So, basically in every turn, depending on what they mill, you might be creating a bunch of these zombies. So, it can actually make you quite a bit of stuff.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like an ongoing theme here, these zombies. So the next one is, the fifth one, is Vault 12, the Necropolis. 4 and 2 black for a Saga enchantment. And the first stage is each player gets 3 rad counters. Second stage, and now these are counters that you're putting on, so you can actually proliferate and zoom through this. Create X 2/2 black zombie mutant creature tokens, where X is the total number of rad counters amongst players. So if you put this down and you immediately proliferate it, and there's 4 players, that's 12 zombies coming out of there. So this is actually pretty strong.
Yep.
And then the third stage is put 2 +1/+1 counters on each creature you control that's a zombie or a mutant. So it works with creating just normal zombies as well. And that's basically like a zombie overrun in a way, which is extremely strong. So, and for something that's 25 cents, I think that's pretty cool. Well, 25 European cents.
500 moose dollars. I threw in the nuclear fallout as well, just as a nice board wipe to have there.
Okay.
Each creature gets twice -X on the turn. Each player gets X rad counters for X double black.
Yeah, that was the 6th card I was going to read.
Good, yeah, I like it.
Yeah. So then the one other potential proliferate item, which has got it's a little expensive, not too bad, is Vraska Betrayal's Sting. For a black and a Phyrexian black mana. So Phyrexian black mana means you can pay 2 life instead. For a legendary planeswalker Vraska, she's completed. That just explains the Phyrexian mana. Her 0, she's got 6 loyalty, but her first ability is 0, and you draw a card and you lose 1 life, and proliferate, which is actually kind of strong. Then she's got a -2. Target creature becomes a treasure artifact with tap. Sacrifice this artifact, add 1 mana of any color, and it loses all other card types and its abilities. So maybe you want to turn a zombie into a treasure for whatever reason. I don't know really why we would want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then her ultimate is -9. If target player has fewer than 9 poison counters, they get a number of poison counters equal to the difference.
I like that one.
Yeah, just like, you've got 9 poison counters.
I think I'm going to move Pitiless Plunderer over to our maybe board and put Vraska in out of the maybe board for that, because like Pitiless Plunderers, it's one of those cards they're obviously going to with the bracket system that they keep trying to make, like it's one of those ones that people see and they think like, oh, a combo is going to be happening. They've got a loop with this, right? Like a lot of times it's used as a game ender a lot of the time. So
yeah, especially in conjunction with these altars and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Sack creatures for mana and you get treasures, and then with Phyrexian Reclamation you just can get stuff back. So yeah,
honestly I really like this deck, how it's looking. Like I like that we have so many other multiple commander options. I personally think that I would go with Fane as the alternate commander for it. It's not going to give us that big like Annihilator kind of effect like Rottenmouth, but it is still going to give us ramp. It's still going to give us counters. Yeah, exactly. And Fane's a very, very nice, like, whenever you have an illegal commander, you do have to sometimes realize not everyone's going to let you play it. So having a real commander in the deck is nice.
Yep. And it's, in a way, it's like having Geyser and Fane and these other ones, they're all going to act as like secret commanders. They will still work just fine with the deck. And even if you're having trouble with the snake, the rest will just be fine. So, yeah.
I have Geyser over in the sideboard, but I'd like to put her main board still too. What do we cut, and then we'll wrap it there after we bring Geyser over?
Maybe we can swap her for Gary.
Grey Merchant?
Because he's a bit of a combo piece. Yeah, Grey Merchant.
Yeah, okay. I like our big token generator anyways.
Yeah.
There we go. The salt score says it's like right around and like it's under an average deck, but I think it's because it's not taking into account how crazy that Annihilator-esque ability is. For each blight counter on it, each opponent loses it unless they sack an online permanent or discard a card. It's pretty rough. It's a pretty big attack trigger, right?
Yeah.
But again, they can't be making a commander look this good, give it box artwork, give it like story, say it's a Calamity Beast, and then be like, but don't brew it.
Yeah. So previously, before we did we did this recording, maybe a couple of weeks ago, you mentioned that you wanted to exploit the fact that this is not a legendary creature.
Oh yeah, I didn't put Coiling Rebirth in the list. I keep forgetting to put Coiling Rebirth in the list, but Coiling Rebirth has to be in the list in my opinion, because it's the whole reason I want to play this card so much, and it's a snake based card. So Coiling Rebirth is the other reason. Great memory. 3 double black. You gift a card. You can promise an opponent a card. Return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. Then if the gift was promised and that creature isn't legendary, you create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a 1/1. Technically, our commander is still not legendary. We do have to make that distinction. We have to play it off and be like, hey, let us play our commander, but then also get a second Rottenmouth.
Yeah, so I wonder what everybody thinks about these sort of honorary commanders that are not legendary, but we want to rule 0 them. Should they be legendary?
I like I said, I feel this Rottenmouth is it's got enough of a legendary feel, I would say.
Yeah, I really like the card. I like the art. The inside of the Bloomborough artwork box is purple, which is actually a really nice purple as well. Yeah, I like this. This is very cool. I can definitely see people building this a whole bunch of different ways. You can go very competitive. You can go very life loss oriented, more into discard. Yeah.
I'll try make a bit more of a budget version. We got to get rid of one. We have to get rid of one card. We're one too many.
I might take the Bag of Devouring out, but that's just because for me, I worry that it's exiling stuff that you sacrifice, and someone can pop it.
Sure, I'll put it over into the maybe work for this, and I usually throw together a budget version, so I'll pull it back over in the budget version. There we go.
Yeah,
good. Deck done. Yeah, no, this one looks very fun. I'm glad we did continue to brew this one. I'm hoping that I get to do more live brew stuff. I really want to do like a full live one with like Sherman and Slothy too, because they build so interesting. They actually put legendary or not legendary instants and sorceries in their deck.
Yeah,
animals, right? But yeah. I say, where's my button? Where is it? There's my button. Thank you guys for getting through our brew. Number one, would you let a card like this be played? I personally would, because I like fun. But yeah, let us know and everything. If there's things you think we missed, also let us know. And if there's commanders you want to see us brew live, that's something we're open to, because I like making decks. It's nonstop for me. Nonstop. It's like, have you seen this card? I've got to brew this card. Somebody links something. Someone says, have you seen this? I'm like, well, here goes another $100 to a list. So if you want some of those lists, go over to houseofcards.com. Promo code IT99 is going to get you a discount. They are a great business to work with. The owners are great people. I really, really enjoy everything about working with them. So they're a great spot. Put a deck like this in AI Armor sleeves. There's so many cool ones. They are the best sleeves. They're my current favorite sleeves. The link for it is in the bio, or just go to their website, aiarmor.com. Great spot as well. It's a great price on everything too. And yeah, come out to face-to-face, see us, like, share, subscribe. It means a lot. Come over to Patreon if you want to brew decks with us and actually suggest things and get ideas. And yeah, that's it. That's the gist of what's going on. I think I'm tired. I think you're pretty tired. Yeah. So it's bedtime for me, even though it's the middle of the day. I haven't been to sleep yet, so I'm gonna get some sleep. Painkillers make me tired, and that's basically the end of it. I let it roll out now. Oh, and thank you guys for hanging out. Bye-bye.
Bye.